Doc had kind of mentioned just offensive rebounds, not getting to 50-50 loose balls. Just what are you kind of seeing in that regard this season? I know it's something that we've talked about, 3 or 4 or 5 times already this year.
Yeah, I think in the first quarter they had like 9, maybe 8 offensive rebounds. We got to compete. Got to do a better job competing. At the end of the day, coming in New York, playing the way we're playing, teams will not just give us games. Teams will not feel bad about ourselves, about us, and just don't compete. We have to come out with the mentality that we got to compete for every possession, one possession at a time, every ball, every loose ball. Whenever the ball is on the floor, we got to get our body on the floor and try to get that ball, put our body on the line. We got to do a better job competing. We didn't compete at all.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You had said the other day, you're not as concerned about outcome, right? It's about what happens, what you can control.
I can't
Competing,
control the outcome, so I cannot be concerned about it.
right? So is the frustrating part? You mentioned competing, or sometimes there's energy, effort. Like, I feel like those are things that can be controlled.
Yeah,
So is that maybe the frustrating part of this? Is that it's sort of the same things in that way of those are things you as a team can control, but it's still not being fixed.
Did we compete the previous game? Yes. Did we compete the 2 previous games, Cavs and Cavs? Yes. Did we compete today? No. It's something that you can control. If you're going to go out there and you're not going to compete, you're not going to win the game. Sometimes you compete, you're yourself and you don't win the game. But at least just give yourself a chance. We came to New York. We played great last night. We came to New York. We lost by 30. We don't compete. Are we okay with not competing? I don't know. I'm not okay with that. So we got to do a better job competing. We got Boston in 2 days. You don't compete, you're going to lose by 30. Simple as that.
Offensively tonight, Doc kind of mentioned that you felt like you guys didn't get into the paint to start the ball movement kind of things that you wanted to do. Was that just Knicks' physicality? You guys not executing maybe the way that you wanted to? Just what did you see on the offensive end there?
Ball got to move, but body got to move too. Your body got to move. Like, if you don't create space, you're not in the right position on the floor, like, you're not going to be able to get in the paint, no matter what you do. You know what I'm saying? Even if you're willing and your intent is to get in the paint, you got to be in the right position. You got to move. You got to create space for guys to get in the paint. I feel like sometimes we hold the ball. They play totally opposite from us. Whenever the ball swung, they were driving and kicking. They got so many wide open threes. They got in the paint. Hey, man, if you don't want to be here, you can leave. If you don't want to be here, you can leave. I'm being honest with you. They played great. We wasn't move the ball. We really was not move the ball. But we had good intention. But at times, at the end of the day, when you move the ball and the guys hold the ball and they're not driving the kick, and it's not going to look great.
Was Anunoby doing anything made it tough for you, or just in general? No.
Obviously, you're a little frustrated. I understand that, given the start you guys have had. Obviously, though, as a leader of the group, how do you keep everybody's heads in a good place when you're trying to dig out of a hole like the one you guys are in?
You got to empower your teammates. You got to empower your teammates, and you got to be honest with them. You got to tell them the truth. You got to keep yourself accountable also. Try to play better. Try to figure out ways to be more efficient. Get to spots that you can help your teammates, more. That's pretty much it. But you gotta, at the end of the day, win or lose, you gotta go in next practice, next game with the same mentality, the same. Your teammates can never see your head down. As a leader of the team, your head can not be down. You can be frustrated at times, for sure. I'm frustrated. If you're not frustrated with losing, get the out of here. Simple as that. But at the end of the day, we have another one in 2 days. We gotta be ready.
Is there more frustration, given the fact that you guys finally break the losing streak yesterday, you have a chance to build some momentum, and you come in, and like you said, the first half, there's runouts for layups, there's offensive rebounds, there's some effort stuff that you like to clean up?
There's a lot of things that we can clean up and do better. It starts with competing. We gotta compete. As I said, teams won't feel bad about us. They want us to keep on losing. They're not gonna be, that's 5 games below 500. Let's get them back on track so they can make the playoffs. It's not going to work that way. You got to go out there and earn it. And don't take it for granted. You don't have a lot of times in your life that you're going to come in MSG and compete. I feel like sometimes we take it for granted. You know, I'm a guy that don't take it for granted and I try to compete whenever I can.
Do you think Doc's trying to help that along in that changing up rotations, changing up personnel? You played 12 minutes in the first quarter, 12, in terms of trying to find mixes of guys who will compete or together find a will there.
Man, you know, Doc is doing his best. He's trying to figure out the rotation. He's giving us the best speech possible. You know, changing that defensive plan, changing that offensive plan. You know, he's just trying to keep on adjust, make something happen to create a spark. You know, I give him, props on that. But at the end of the day, it's the guys that play, we got to go out there and compete. He cannot compete from the sideline for us. He can put us in the best position possible, but we got to go out there and compete.